Takeaway Chinese, where you can take some Chinese away and experience progress day by day. Takeaway Chinese, we will promise you a difference.
你好，欢迎收听随行汉语 Welcome to Takeaway Chinese. I'm Niu Honglin. Joining me today, Steve Hatherley. Hello, Steve.
Hello, thanks for having me back once again.
Very happy to have you back. Actually, we've talked about a lot of interesting topics with a lot of Chinese expressions, and I feel like with the show, I am introducing to you not only the Chinese language, but a lot about the society, about the culture and everything, and it's a fun experience.
Yeah.
For me too.
Yeah, it's 100% true because you can learn the language through so many different types of conversations, right? You can talk about the words and the expressions and the idioms themselves, but you can also learn by talking about movies or about cultural aspects or about anything at all. Travel, you name it, fashion, doesn't matter. We can have a lot of different styles of conversations and then learn the words that exist within the context of those conversations.
Yes, definitely. And that is the beauty of opening up to a new culture, isn't it? It's not only about Chinese. Well, the show is about Chinese for sure, but actually it's the same with any other culture in the world. Once you take an interest into the specific, maybe sometimes even a subculture, a culture of a clan, a culture of a community, you need to open yourself up to all the objects and all the subjects and all the aspects.
Yeah, and I think the advantage, and this is quite obvious, but I'll say it anyway, the advantage of being in the location of the language that you're learning, it's not imperative to learning the language because you can learn from another location, right? You can learn to speak English in China and it's totally fine, but it's just such a bigger advantage if you're in that country or in a country that speaks that language because of the reasons that I just said. Because when you're here, not only do you get to use your ears and hear people speak it and have conversations, but you also get to experience it, right? And that just helps to ingrain what you've learned into your mind even more.
Yes.
I think.
In the previous episode, we talked about traveling the country, especially to the destinations that you have long loved because of your favorite movie was made in that exact location. That was a perk, an advantage of living in the location with the culture you are interested in because you have been exposed to that for a while, and if you're in that exact country, you can actually find those places much easier.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the points that I was making is that when you're here, then you get to eat the foods that you're talking about, and you get to see the movies that you're talking about and hear the music that you're talking about and all of that kind of stuff. So it's just a lot easier, I think.
Yes, and besides that, I think once you're in the culture, you can also witness the growing and evolving of that culture because no culture or language or society is the same forever.
Yeah,
Everything changes a little bit and you get to experience that change. Sometimes you get to facilitate that change, and that is also very interesting. You mentioned movie. You mentioned we talked about traveling the country with movie themes or traveling into certain destinations where a certain famous movie is made. That's one thing. But when it comes to movie, a very new phenomenon, especially here in the Chinese society nowadays, is that things are kind of growing around movie. You know, in Chinese, we have this way of forming things. We call it something 加, so something plus.
Okay.
So previously it was internet plus, for example. So 互联网加, 互联网 being the internet, and 互联网加 is a word talking about internet plus things plus everything. And that was created in the beginning of the internet age. People started to realize with the help of the internet, they can do a lot of different things, and internet can enable different industries for new things. And that is now also a way to describe the current trend of having movies plus a lot of different things. Because imagine the things that you can do in a movie theater, the things that can be generated because of your passion for a certain movie. So that is becoming a new thing. And I think that new social as well as cultural phenomenon is what we're going to talk about today.
Perfect. And we have a few examples to discuss.
Oh, yes. So 电影家 is going to be the theme. And for our dear listeners, if you're interested in Chinese culture and you want to get a grip on the Chinese language, then this is the show for you. Stick with us for 30 minutes and you soon see the rewards. And for more fun Chinese learning, follow our Facebook page, Learn Chinese, to watch many fun videos and live streams. But now, let's provide you with some free Chinese for takeaway. In the previous episode, we've already provided you with the free Chinese of movie, 电影,
电影.
the electric shadow.
Yes.
Electric,
right.
yeah, 电影. And in your opinion, what would be a perfect match with 电影? Because we're talking about 电影家. In my opinion, 电影 can 加 anything, so movie can plus anything. But in your opinion, what is the best match?
It's something that I've never done before. And I don't even know if I've ever heard of anyone doing this. But the idea of putting up a film or a theater-sized screen in a park and just like a picnic kind of movie thing.
So 电影 plus park, 电影 plus
picnic.
Yeah.
So my imagination painted this picture of like picnic blankets on the ground with picnic baskets and some various snacks in there and beverages. And then you can just kind of relax and watch the movie on the big screen while you're actually sitting in the middle of a park.
I'm not really sure about cinema-sized screens because that can be a little bit complicated, thinking about the facilities and stuff.
Speakers too.
Yes. Yet we do have movie plus picnic in the sense that you have a smaller screen, smaller number of audience sitting in a open area, enjoying a little bit of food. And picnic, by the way, in Chinese is 野餐.
野餐.
Yes, 野 means wild, in the wild, because you're sitting in the wild. And 餐 is food or meal.
So a meal in the wild.
A meal in the wild, picnic.
野餐.
Yes, that's picnic, because that is not something rare, actually, since we have a lot of different types of, for example, live music festivals. And also there are different movie festivals and movie competitions in the sense that you have selected some good movies, and then during that period of time, people would choose, or sometimes a jury would choose the best ones and give them awards. And in China, a lot of those activities are held in a much larger scale. So instead of just having a lot of screenings, which is the basic, people are inviting every different industries in the entertainment industry into their setting. For example, if we are having a movie festival in, let's say, Hainan province, which is a province famous for their really beautiful beach, nice weather and climate and everything, actually in some of those festivals, on top of the movie screenings, you also have live music concerts.
Oh, so it's more like an arts festival?
It's art festival and it's picnic with different types of movies on those screens you talked about, and with definitely beer and other beverage, and sometimes with barbecue, themed barbecue. And of course, they will tell you which movies are on at which time so that you can bring your whole family or bring your romantic partner, significant other. So it's different. But yes, we do have that.
Yeah, fun. I've heard of them having, I've heard of certain hotels having like movie beach combination. So they'll put a screen on the sand.
Yes.
Yeah. And usually I think, they'll show some, I don't know, romantic comedy or a film for the children or something like that. And that's a fun idea too.
That's a fun idea.
I think anytime you combine food and
course,
films.
that is my choice actually.
Yeah.
Food with films. So 电影加美食. 美食 is delicious food. 美食.
美食.
Yes. So 美 carries the meaning of beautiful. Or food is 食 is food. But putting together 美食 is a really, let's say, formal, not formal, but authentic way of saying good food, delicious food. Because I think there is another way of saying it that will be 好吃的, good eats.
Yeah.
But it's more colloquial, whereas 美食 is
more formal?
Relatively formal. 美食. So 电影加美食, that's for sure. Because, of course, you want a good snack, popcorn, soda, sometimes even French fries in a movie theater.
Yeah, why not? By the way, how do you say French fries?
Ooh, 薯条.
薯条.
薯.
薯.
条.
条.
条 means long object. Or it's not even long. It's more like thin, long and thin. So it can be little, but long and thin in shape. That is a 条.
The bread, the morning bread.
Yeah, 油条.
油条.
Oil, thin, little, long,
Right.
whatever.
Okay.
And it can even be we call it a measure word in Chinese. So the most common measure word would definitely be 个, 一个, one object. And 条 is another very common measure word, and it means a long object of. So 一条, for example, 一条鱼, a fish. So fish are relatively considered a long, thin object, 一条鱼.
Yeah.
And also 一条裤子, so one long trousers.
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
How do you say chopsticks?
Oh no, chopsticks are 一双筷子, a pair of chopsticks. Because
okay.
does not appear by itself.
Right.
Yes.
That's true. Well, it can. It's just way more difficult to use.
It can, yes. So 薯条 would be French fries. 薯 is potato.
Oh, okay.
马铃薯 potato.
Okay, got it.
薯
薯
条
条
薯条.
薯条.
Yes, and French fries, the idea of frying or fried, actually sometimes people will also say 炸薯条, fried a long stick of potato, but it's a little bit redundant in Chinese people's mind because we really don't call other long, thin object with the name 薯条. Because even, I think you might had the experience of having the fried, long, thin potato in the canteen.
Yes.
Yeah, but we call it 炒土豆. So 土豆 is more common as a name for potato.
So French fries.
薯条 is really...
薯条, it's exclusive to French fries.
Yes.
That's good to know.
And besides 薯条, we talked about popcorn being a very common movie theater food.
Oh.
爆米花.
爆米花.
This is a fun one because 爆 carries the meaning of explode.
Okay.
米 actually is rice, but it can, in this sense, also mean the corn. And 花 is a flower.
Exploding corn flour.
Yes, because once there are actually the kind of popcorn, but not popcorn, but pop rice. Because if you think about the processing of making these snacks, you just put them in really high temperature and also high pressure until they pop. So 爆米花.
爆米花. Right. 爆米花.
爆米花.
That's fun.
Popcorn. And I think another really good one that I have only tried in my home instead of in a movie theater would be chicken wing. Chicken wings.
Chicken wings at movie theaters?
Not at movie theaters. I'm at home.
Right.
While I'm watching movie. Because I think chicken wings are really expectable in the sense that you know how to eat it without looking at it. You just grab it and you eat it and you do not get distracted.
I can
it.
I can easily see chicken wings being a popular choice in a movie theater.
Right?
And French fries, but I've never seen French fries sold in a movie theater either.
I think it's because for 爆米花 popcorn, even if the popcorn are not exactly that freshly made, like within 2 hours, it's still good. Right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, with French fries, they'd have to be very fresh.
Very fresh to be good.
That's true.
And also for most people, if you're having French fries, you want to dip it in ketchup, which is 番茄酱, by the way.
番茄酱.
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 Yes. And 番茄 being tomato, by the way, and 酱 is just sauce. If you want to dip your French fries in ketchup, you need to take a look at it. And you're in a movie
Not
theater.
really. Well, if you know the general location of it.
It works.
But yeah, the point about the French fries being fresh, yeah, if they're not fresh, nobody wants to buy them.
But I think there still is a balance. In my opinion, if the food is really, really that good, I can spare a little bit of attention for the food, even while I'm watching the movie.
Yeah, but then we're not even thinking about the food preparation either. In a movie theater, they need to be able to grab things and just give it to you. Like the cola is very simple to give you. Popcorn's very simple to give you. If you need a person with a deep fryer in there making French fries and chicken wings, that's a lot more complicated.
Yes. Yet, there are more choices. And I am talking about the kind of food that you get to enjoy now here in China in a movie theater. That requires a little more attention, but I think it's worth it. But it can be actually more than that. Do you know that in China, cinemas in China have started offering VIP dining experiences, allowing customers to enjoy hot pot? With films.
Really?
Yes, while they're watching movies, actually these venues would attract not only couples on dates, for sure, friends gathering together for a meal, but also parents bringing their children along, because these type of places would, well, they can be a tiny little bit more expensive than an ordinary movie, because, you have food and it's hot pot, but it's not that expensive at all.
How much?
Around 300 yuan. That's like $40 US.
Yeah, roughly.
Roughly.
That's not bad, because you're getting the movie tickets with the food too, right?
Yes. In my opinion, a delightful combination of delicious food and an immersive cinematic experience.
Question. Do you eat the hot pot like outside in a different room and then go in to watch the movie? Or are you eating the hot pot while you're watching the movie?
You're eating the hot pot while watching the movie.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
I've heard of other theaters where they'll combine like within the movie theater building, but not within the movie theater itself. Like just outside you would eat and then you'd walk in and enjoy your movie. So that was I always thought that was kind of like, yeah, okay, I get it. But how is that different from going to any restaurant and then going straight in to watch the movie?
Unless what they're doing is to create certain themed food, and the theme is picked from movies.
Oh, yeah.
For example, if it is a road trip type of movie, and on the road trip, the main characters try different types of food, and they provide you with all the foods in a buffet, or they provide you with different sets of meals you can choose. That would be nice.
Yeah.
Have you ever had the experience of feeling the crave for certain kind of food because you watch people in the movie or TV series eating it?
100%.
Yeah.
This is a little off topic, but what I've done so many times in the past is whenever I would go on a vacation, I would watch travel videos from the place that I was going to, but not travel videos like, the scenic spots. No, street food. And then I would order or try to make at home something as close to that thing as I could so that I could eat the food while they are eating the food. I don't know what's going on psychologically there, but it made me happy somehow.
Yes. I have that too. So food plus movies is definitely a thing.
Would you choose hot pot though? What do you think about the selection of hot pot? Because, here in China, you could select any number of things to eat. Do you think hot pot's a good match for a movie?
For me, hot pot can be a little bit too demanding in the sense that you need to basically cook your own food before eating it. You have to select the ingredient or select the next ingredient you want to put in the hot pot. But if it is, for example, French fries, for example, some finger food, and also even Chinese food, traditional type or common type of Chinese food that I do not need to pay too much attention to, that would be even better for me.
I think hot pot would match very well with horror movies.
Why?
Because it's spicy. So you get that adrenaline kick from the fear, but you also get the adrenaline kick from the spiciness. But it's got to be super spicy hot pot for a horror movie, though.
But to me, if it's a horror movie and I am eating spicy and hot pot, I might suddenly and unintentionally burn myself because I'm just too hooked up in the plot, and then I'm putting things in my mouth and just accident happening instantly.
Accident waiting to happen.
Waiting to happen, yes. Okay, so besides food, what other things could be a good plus?
Well, that's an interesting thing to think about because we've seen movies and food done before, right? The culinary kind of film experience. But I think another good thing to do with movies would be, and I don't know if this is a stretch or not, but more like, and maybe this is more about the interior, but like really, really, really comfortable things to lay down on while you're watching the film.
I think here in China, you can find those too, because in some movie theaters, to start with, you, instead of a couch, if it's a couples hall, which means that all the seats are sold to couples, they have beds in it, so you can actually lie down on the beds. That's one thing. And also in some theaters, but I don't know if I like this one, you would have 按摩椅, massage couches.
Oh, massage chairs?
Yes.
Oh, you could get a massage and watch the movie. You don't like that one?
I don't like that one because if too many people are enjoying that service, it'd be a bit noisy.
I was just about to say, yeah, it sounds great, but it might be noisy. Ooh, but what we could do then is take our massage chair theater and instead of listening to the theater speakers, you wear headphones. And you enjoy the movie through headphones.
Even better, because you can have maybe an even better sound quality.
Maybe. But I don't know if people want to watch a movie like that. I know they have theaters like that in the world where you put on headphones to watch the movie. I've never done it myself. But I don't know if that's a good thing. But if you combine it with a massage chair, I can see that happening. I can also see a nap happening.
Yes, yeah, that might be a problem to the creators of the movie. And another thing that has been quite trendy, but I think this one depends on the popularity of the movie as well as the nature of the movie. Because nowadays,哪吒 2 is being really, really popular, not only here in China, but all around the world. People are loving the characters in the movie, and that is why 电影加文创 is becoming a thing. I think if you really love the characters, you would want a little toy of the character.
Yeah, sure.
In Chinese, we call it 手办.
手办.
It's like a hand-sized little toy, and you can put it on your desk. You can even, as a collector, put it in a huge shelf with different little boxes. It's a good experience. And of course, if you combine that idea with 盲盒, the blind boxes.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's just the whole thing.
The blind boxes go perfectly with almost anything, don't they? Yeah.
And for example, in Hunan, central China, an officially licensed cultural and creative company, by the way, that is 文创, 文化创意, cultural and creative, 文创. This company has established a dedicated production line, the哪吒line, exclusively for哪吒merchandise. On average, about 250,000 figures are shipped across China from Hunan every day.
Yeah.
People are loving it.
Yeah, and that makes sense too, because when a movie like that gets popular and the main character is such a cute little character, then everybody wants to have a t-shirt or a hat or a toy or something.
Yes, and that is not a new thing in particular, because ever since people find that they can have a real little toy of their favorite character in a movie, in a TV show, from a animation, from their favorite video games, they started to love it. And they love it so much. The term 谷子经济, goods economy, emerged because of that.
Yeah.
Actually, 谷子 is a translation of the English word goods. You can hear the similarity. It's not even a translation. It's just a transliteration.
Yeah.
And it refers to the merchandise derived from copyrighted works in manga, anime, games, etc. And these products fully under the category of the ACGN, that's anime, comic, game, and novel merchandise, and include posters, badges, cards, and anything, plush toy, little toy, 手办, anything. And it's an economy in China already. We call it 股子经济, 经济 being economy.
And it's a hugely popular
Hugely popular.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's always great news for a movie company who puts on this kind of show, because when they know that everybody's going to see the film, then they also know, oh, everybody's going to be buying these little types of toys too.
Yes, and with intellectual property protected, actually people made the movie can benefit from this as well. So win-win-win for those who are making those toys, those who love the movies, and also those who actually created the movie.
Yeah, so that's one benefit, but then individual theaters can benefit too,
Definitely.
Right? Yeah.
That is actually a new thing that is happening in China. Instead of having movie theaters as movie theaters, or movie theaters built within a big shopping mall, which is quite common for sure, not only in China but around the world. We're doing another thing, and it's an ongoing process, yet I love it and I really want to experience the current ones. That is, some places have already taken the initiative of building everything around the movie theater. That is, on top of having a movie theater, you also have a food street. You then also have a karaoke places in the movie building.
Yeah, like
and video game
arcade.
rooms. Yes, an arcade and everything. And also sometimes it can be video games in the sense of a video game hall with also in that. So it's a integration of a little bit of everything. And let alone the kind of board games and also the escaping room games and the role-playing games. And the role-playing game definitely would be based on a certain screenplay, and the screenplay can relate to the movie you watch.
Yeah.
So it can be a whole very comprehensive experience.
Instead of making the movie theater one aspect of a trip to a shopping mall, for example, you're making the movie theater the star, and then you're adding a little attractions in the immediate vicinity, like you said, arcade or food street or what have you. But the theater itself is still the star of the show.
Yes, and you're building everything around the theater.
Yeah.
Well, we always like to see a win-win story with the improvement and also the flourishing of the movie industry. We get to see that people are enjoying their entertainment time, their leisure time much more.
Yeah.
And also we see the industry taking off in the sense that everything's built on to movie, built on to theaters, and it makes me happy. It makes me wonder what can be some other steps.
Yeah, well, this is what happens when you have great movies that are really popular.
That is the core.
It opens so many other doors. So that's the message to all theater industries all around the world, is just keep making great movies for us to watch, and we'll support them, and we'll support the businesses that come with the films as well.
Yeah, and if I can go to a movie theater, enjoy my favorite movie, and then go to a restaurant in that movie theater building, eating the great dish featured in the movie.
In the movie, yeah.
And then move into a karaoke, singing the song, the theme, the song from the movie.
Yeah.
And then go to the next door, buying the toy of my favorite character in the movie. That would be a perfect one-day trip.
Sounds like a fun afternoon.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if that happens, please let me know where I can find it. And if I do find it someday, I will definitely introduce you to it here on Takeaway Chinese.
Love it.
And that brings us to the end of today's Takeaway Chinese. I'm Niu Honglin with Steve here in the studio. For more episodes of the show, you can visit our website at radio.cgtn.com and go to the column podcast. You can also listen to the show and read the script there. Find us wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Just search for Takeaway Chinese. Don't forget to leave your questions, comments, and ratings. 感谢收听，我们下次再见，拜拜。
Bye.